Today is that people put too much emphasis either on the material or too much on the spiritual, whereas both are wrong. For people who say, no, I put too much, let's say for example, we know the material side, for the one who is very material, they don't even consider the day of judgment, they don't even prepare themselves for the grave, they don't prepare themselves for death, they are just voracious eaters on this earth. They have an insatiable desire to own the world. Greedy, extremely greedy. The Ivan Boskis, you know, the ones who were robbing Wall Street. They had billions of dollars, but if there was $1,000, they wanted it. They were not satisfied with the billions they had, they still wanted 1,000. The greedy ones, the material ones. Those we know, they're wrong. I'm talking on the flip side, the ones who are ultra-spiritual, who give up all the material and they become monks. They run up to the mountains or carve out a cave for themselves and they live in it worshipping God and they die in that way. Rahbaniya, Allah mentions in the Quran, monkery. People who run away to the mountains only to worship Allah and they don't want to deal with the material problems of the world. Allah condemns that also. Allah says no. No prophet was like that. No prophet was sent to a mountain to worship Allah privately. Sure, even the messenger of Allah took off from his worldly affairs to escape moments where he could worship Allah privately in the mountain of Nur. As we know, Jabal Nur is where Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to go for his prayers. Sallallahu Muhammad wa Muhammad. Sure, we need to do that. Salatul Layl is a good example. You notice, why has Allah in Surah Isra, when Allah says tahajjud, when you recite the nightly prayer, that Allah may grant us a high station, maqam mahmud, a place where Allah will place the believers who will be praised, which is a very high station in paradise. You find Salatul Layl is the period where everyone is sleeping. The phone calls are not ringing. The text messages have slowed down. The emails have slowed down. You're to yourself. That's the moment that Allah has given us. 1/3 of our day is for the self. As we know, out of 24 hours, we've divided them into 3 parts. One is for ourselves. One is for earning to survive. And one is for the family. So we find out of the 24 hours, this one for ourselves, especially is when we rest. 8 hours. During that period of time, Allah says, if you have the energy to rise and remember me after your busy schedule, it's a very good thing to do for you to remember me, for that calms your heart down. When you remember Allah, your heart will be tranquil. Notice that spiritual point. The real objective in Islam, because Islam, if someone was to ask you, thank you, if Allah was to ask us, or someone was to ask us, what is your understanding of Al-Islam? The first thing that should come into our minds, many times we would say Islam means one God, worshipping one God. It means Rasulullah. It means peace and tranquility. These are all correct answers. But the practical essence of Islam is the word bil-qist, with balance. Everything must be done in a balanced fashion. The minute you tip the balance, this is when you're out of pathway of Islam. Any form of extremism is outside the fold of Islam. Extremism, biological, and of course we can call anybody an extremist. I'm not talking about the spin doctors who are spinning everything against Islamic extremism. I'm talking about natural extremism. People who are very difficult to deal with. They're compulsive, they're obsessive, or they're so imbalanced that you can't even travel with them because everything they do, they find a fault in you, or they find a fault in something, or they are so strict in religion that it's impossible to spend time with them. That's extremism. Or the one who's so anti-religion, anti-spiritual, anti-remembering Allah, constant material, every day they're just talking about their business and their empires and their worldly pleasures. That's extremism also. Any form of extremism is haram in Islam. The true Muslim is one who's balanced. And the highest form of balance here at the high level is to take our material acquisitions as well as our spiritual acquisitions at a balance. This is very important. So here in Surah Al-Kahf, Allah says, Al-Malu wal-Banun zinatul hayatid dunya. Your material and your families are the beauty of this world. وَالْبَاقِيَاتُ صَالِحَاتُ. What is left are your good deeds. خَيْرٌ عِنْدَ رَبِّكَ ثَوَابًا وَخَيْرٌ أَمَلًا. Most honorable, most accepted to Allah is the third one. The one, your deeds. Now look how Allah is saying to me. Your deeds, your good deeds. So Allah is basically telling me the material world you have to use. You can't escape it. You as a creation are so material, you can't escape it. It's like some Sufis, they try, to escape the material. And they would remember Allah so much, they would just say Allah, 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 Allah 24 hours a day, thinking that they can give up themselves, become nothing and merge with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is wrong. You can't do that. Allah has made us material. Even Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salatu wasalam has told us, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Even Imam Zain al-Abidin thanks Allah for giving him a tongue to thank him. Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam is recognizing that without this material ability, he would not be able to thank Allah. Without a physical existence of having a body and a mind, and a physical presence, you and I would not have the ability to recognize Allah's mercy. So we thank Allah for the material things. We thank Allah for the beauty. We thank Allah for making us beautiful. We thank Allah for making the world beautiful. The most beautiful thing in the world are natural things, not man-made things. We think we're so smart we can create artificial lakes and artificial resorts, but they're never the same as natural resorts. Ask anybody in the world. We will save all our money to go and see what Allah has made. Because when we intervene in it, we can't do it right. You just can't make a lake naturally flow, okay, with a spring. You can't do that. You have to create systems to bring water into it. You have to create all kinds of machineries to try to manage this. Whereas Allah has naturally created things. Allah says, وَلَوْ أَنَّمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ مِنْ شَجَرَةٍ أَقْلَامٌ وَالْبَحْرُ يَمُدُّهُ مِنْ بَعْدِهِ سَبْعَةُ أَبْحُرٍ مَا نَفِدَتْ كَلِمَاتُ اللَّهِ. If you took all the trees on earth and made them as pens, and you took the seas and added 7 more seas and used them as ink, you will not cease to praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. صلوا على محمد وعلى محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. So why is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us this? He says, all these things I put for you. الذي خلق السبع سماوات طباقا ما ترى right في خلق الرحمن من تفاوت فارجع البصر هل ترى من فطور ثم ارجع البصر كرتين ينقلب إليك البصر خاسئا وهو حسير. Go look at the skies, look at how great they are. At night when we look in the sky and we see the stars, how beautiful it is for our eyes. It is so pleasant. At our camp, the kids want to come out of their cabins to stay on the lawn just to look at that starry sky. Why would you want to look at the starry sky? Because there's something natural. Allah says, وَلَقَدْ زَيَّنَّا السَّمَاءَ الدُّنْيَا. We have made سَمَاءَ الدُّنْيَا beautiful. زَيَّنَّا السَّمَاءَ الدُّنْيَا بِمَصَابِيحَ. We put lamps in this sky of the earth. We made it beautiful. Look at it. It's beautiful. So look how Allah is showing me that your material pursuits are natural. You have to get them. You should get them. You should aspire for them. You should look at them. You should admire it. But the question Allah says, وَالْبَاقِيَاتُ الصَّالِحَاتُ. What is left are your deeds. Because at the end of the day, all material things will perish. What will remain are your deeds. Our children, Allah says, إِنَّمَا أَمْوَالُكُمْ وَأَوْلَادُكُمْ فِتْنَةٌ. Your material and your family are a trial upon you. Fitna. They are a trial. They are a test. If you worship them too much, and you look at them too much, and you admire them too much, and you forget Allah, Allah says you have failed this trial. This fitna, you failed. If you worship the material too much, you have failed. Use it for me. Now it's a whole different ballgame. So in this discussion, brothers and sisters, I want to emphasize very clearly that the reason we have apathy in our religion many a times, especially in our young generation, is because we lack understanding of the purpose of life. We've become impulsive and we become reactionary based on what's glittering out there. We're just like bulls, you know, sometimes. You flash a very bright color and they charge. We're like bulls. That's it. I hate to boil it down to that. That's what we are. Wherever things glitter, everybody runs. We're like bulls. You know, shake a red flag, everybody goes towards it. We're like that. We're hyped. We're so hyped. And the Hollywoods and the economists and those who want to trick us are experts in that market. Get them aroused sexually, sell products that way. Get them going into new hypes because they get bored very quickly. Keep them recycling, the new generation. Every time you got to come up with new things because we get bored very quickly. The toy industry has to constantly regenerate, and that's an economy. There's nothing wrong with that economy. There's nothing wrong to come up with new things. There's nothing wrong to recycle. But if the purpose is not kept in check, we become beastly, we become deadly. We start cheating, stealing, killing each other for petty little things. To give you an example, in Dearborn, you know how the gas stations, many of them are owned by our brothers from Lebanon, for example, and Yemen. And that's a good business, so it's not a bad business. So, what you find is that across the street there was a Muslim brother competing with the guy across the street for gas. Just gas. Now, rather than come to an agreement with the purpose of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to say, let us work together, united, and let's figure out a way where we both can make money. What's wrong? But insan, my God, when we're vindictive, I get it, you don't get anything. Even in the animal kingdom, the animals will eat their share and then they'll leave and let the rest of the creatures come and take care of it. But us, no, I need to keep it. Hoarding. And I can't have it, you can't have it. It's like when we have dinner, do you ever notice? You can't eat the whole plate, but you've got to fill it like a mountain. Why? Because I may not get it. Yeah, but there's like 50 more people behind you. Who cares? I'm here first. I need it. Insan, we're like this. We lose focus. So these poor guys, now they're competing against each other. And that one will drop a penny, this one will drop 2 pennies. Before you know it, they start losing money. Now the other guy kept saying to him, look, let's work together. The guy said, no, you are my enemy across the street and I want to take revenge on you. Look what happened. This is where Shaitan comes and has a ball with it. Right? The guy comes across the street and they get into a fight and he takes a gun, hits him with the butt of the gun and shoots him and kills him. Now, we may think it's an event, Hollywood style, where guns come out, you shoot, it's done, you know, the movie ends. It's a life. When I saw the orphans of that father who was killed, you know, you don't know what to do. You look at this child, he has been deprived of his father. You look at the wife, she's been deprived of her husband. You look at the mother, she's deprived of her son. One silly bullet that is so devastating, it brought the person to death. For a few pennies that you are not going to take with you when you go into the grave. How sick is the mentality of the human race? Tell me. What happens? It leads to treachery after treachery. It's a domino effect. This is what Iblis said. فَبِعِزَّتِكَ لَأَغْوِيَنَّهُمْ أَجْمَعِينَ إِلَّا عِبَادِكَ مِنْهُمُ الْمُخْلَصِينَ. This is what Iblis said. He said to Allah, he said, by your authority, O Allah, I am going to take this human race with me, all of them. فَبِعِزَّتِكَ, by your authority. Look how Iblis is talking to Allah. فَبِعِزَّتِكَ, by your authority. Because Allah is giving him this authority, because this world is a world of trials. So this guy got killed. After he got killed, the person who killed got imprisoned. Apparently somehow he managed to get out. He paid his fees, whatever the bail was, he got out. The next thing, somebody waited for him on his driveway, put a bullet in him, and killed him too. So now the revenge was sweet, on both sides. So both sides are dead, the gas stations are behind. Iblis is saying, see, look how silly. Look at how the situation is. If they knew the purpose of life, that when they understood, Wallahu khairul raziqeen, Allah is the best of providers when it comes to the rizq, you don't have to hold the down and get angry with anybody. But the net reaction is our goals and agendas are so material, we lost track of why we were existing to begin with. Why do we need money? Why do we need to feed ourselves? Why do we build empires? What is it for? If we lose that value, we become beastly to the point where we become murderers. That's how sad the scenario is. How do you articulate this to the society and say, how can we avoid this? This is what the angels were asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You want us to bow to this creature? For these silly things, they will draw blood. We worship you. نَحْنُ نُسَبِّحُ بِحَمْدِكَ. We praise you, we worship you, we don't disobey you. Why should we bow to this Adam? Well, this is the one who draws blood for the silliest of things. Allah says, إِنِّي أَعْلَمُ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. I know that which you don't know. That yes, as much as we draw blood in our foolishness, the potential of what we have raises us above angels. This is what Imam Ali says. He says that when a human being is material, he's lower than an animal. When he is spiritual, he's higher than angels. Because we traverse, we've got both qualities, angelic and animal. But the human being is even higher. لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ ثُمَّ رَدَدْنَاهُ أَسْفَلَ سَافِلِينَ. We made man in the best of forms, and we lowered them to the lowest of the low. My presentation this evening, brothers and sisters, is for all of us to take account that we are here for a purpose. If we lose this account, brothers and sisters, I say we won't raise our children properly. We're going to have drug infestation in our families. We're going to have zina in our families. We're going to have illegitimate children in our families. Guaranteed. Because when insan does not place their values in life, we will fall trapped into this world. I see many of our youth, many of them, their akhlaq is not proper, for example. Their tongue is foul. Their character is not refined. Of course, among some of our youth, impeccable character. You wonder, you see the difference? Well, the difference is when you look at the one with the impeccable character, you see the fathers and the mothers are teaching them and raising them properly. When we come to these public places, for example, with due respect, Salah is taking place, I see so much talking and noise in the back. This is not good akhlaq. If I was a non-Muslim who came to visit this place, I'd say these people have no respect for their God. For when they are praying to their God, they're busy talking about worldly matters. Unless these sisters and brothers are talking about a spiritual thing, even then they would not do it. Because at the time of Salah, they would show their akhlaq properly, that they would not be disrespectful to the most sacred character, which is Salah. إِنَّ الصَّلَاةَ تَنْهَى عَنِ الْفَحْشَاءِ وَالْمُنْكَرِ وَلَذِكْرُ اللَّهِ أَكْبَرُ. Do we know the ذِكْرُ اللَّهِ أَكْبَرُ? That when our children are born, if the mothers and fathers don't practice, then no wonder our children are taking all the wrong things in life. They say we've got this culture called Islam, where we go on Thursday nights and we need a little dua, and when there's a shahada of a personality, we go and cry some crocodile tears, then we go back into our worldly matters. We wonder why our children are lost? No child have I ever met dares to go astray willfully. To go astray, there has to be something wrong. No child is born astray. No, impossible. Even the Quran mentions that. الَّذِي خَلَقَ فَسَوَّى وَالَّذِي قَدَّرَ فَهَدَى. He creates and makes it complete. He gives it destiny and guides it. Each and every one of us has been guided. Then how come our youth and our next generations and our old generations are misguided? Because we willfully are too much in love with the wrong thing when we should be in love with the right thing, which is none other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sallallahu Muhammad wa Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Purpose in life. We know the purpose. You know our religion? Let me just address it really fast in a nutshell. I don't blame some of our youth. You know, when I go online and I'm reading stories and I'm reading hadith and I'm reading about different religions, and I spend time with Christians and Jews and atheists and agnostics and people of all religions. Why? Because I want to know myself. I can't know who I am unless I know what they are. That's the way the world works. That's why I advise this all, brothers and sisters. Believe me, with sincerity. Don't live in your own little cocoons in our communities. Go out and travel. Go at least to the other centers. neighbors and spend time with other communities. We are Muslims, even among the Ahlul Bayt followers, you got 5, 7 different communities in Toronto. Visit them, join their programs, let them come here, you go there. Don't say, no, this is my community, I'm going to die here. Sure, you can die in here, but then we are denying ourselves the breadth of knowledge, the breadth of experience, the breadth of social experience. It's a rahmah and a ni'mah. No one said that we need to die in our own little cocoons. That's a sickness. Even the Prophet has forbidden that. He says, قُلْ سِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ. Even in the Quran, Allah says, say to them, travel across the earth and see, فَانْظُرْ, go and see how the world works. The more you travel, the wiser you will become. When I spend time with these Christians and Jews, and I see the topics they talk, and I'm convinced they're all looking for the same thing. They want happiness, they want security, they want to win on the Day of Judgment, if there's a Day of Judgment in their beliefs. They want to be successful. Even an atheist wants to be successful. Let's not fool ourselves. The one who does not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to be successful. It's just that they've gone the wrong pathway because either they were abused or they were misinformed. Most atheists, by the way, become atheists because the religion they came from, which is typically Judeo-Christian ideas, you find typically they are so misinformed about God. The stories that are told in those religions are so imbalanced in so many ways, with due respect to the religion, but sometimes you read some of the verses and the characters, you get scared. And many a times when I meet atheists, they will tell me, I will never worship the God of these Christians. Never. I can never accept that God. I said, okay, you seem very angry. He said, yeah, I've been violated. I love God. I worship God. For 20 years, all my life I worshiped Him. Then I was cheated. I was lied to. I said, no, you were lied to maybe by people, or maybe you misunderstood. But don't be angry. Anger will get you nowhere. Don't be angry. Be proactive and say, okay, I've been abused. Let me move and find a better religion. Don't get angry. Anger, by the way, there's a rule. Allah has built a system. When we get angry, we destroy no one but ourselves. Anger destroys us. So let's try to keep it. Okay, brother, that's fine. As long as the air is moving. Thank you. Allah bless you, inshallah. Anger. People get so angry in societies. Why is there anger? Honestly, when you boil it down, we have problems. There's something we want, we can't get. Or suddenly we have a disease that we didn't expect. We were planning to have this wonderful life and things got changed. We got angry. We prayed to God. It wasn't answered. We became angry. The combination of all of the above leads to what we call circular anger, which does nothing for us but self-destruction. Allah even says in the Quran, قُلْ مُوتُ بِغَيْدِكُمْ. Say to them, die in your anger. مُوتُ بِغَيْدِكُمْ. Die. Why? Because when we are angry, we self-destruct. So I always came to the conclusion that Allah has placed me on this earth, and this earth is filled with trials, and it's very difficult. 100% is difficult. That's why Allah chose us. That's why angels had to bow to us, because this trial is not easy. It is so difficult. My God, it's difficult. If we understand that, and we struggle to save ourselves, as Allah says, قُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَهْلِيكُمْ نَارٍ. All you who believe, save yourselves from the fire of hell. But I know it's so hard. All my passions, my desires, my worldly desires, my ego, my ignorance, my stupidity, my foolishness, they all come in the way all the time. It's very hard to be pure. Allah says, Allah, Ghafurur Rahim. God is forgiving. It's okay. You're struggling. It's not easy. Whoever said it's easy. If it was so easy, my prophets that Allah is telling us, the prophets that He sent to us are the ones who suffered the most. The Messenger of Allah said, nobody on earth has suffered like I have. Ahl al-Bayt have suffered more than any other group of people on earth. But yet Allah says, إِنَّمَا يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ لِيُذْهِبَ عَنْكُمْ الرِّجْسَ أَهْلَ الْبَيْتِ. Allah has purified them with a thorough purification. وَيُطَهِّرَكُمْ تَطْهِيرًا. صلوات على محمد وآل محمد. And yes, it's difficult. Now these Ahl al-Bayt, chosen people of Allah, who Allah would speak directly to, would guide them, would give them inspiration, and they are the ultimate role models for humanity. That the Quran is filled with verses about them as our role models. They suffered so much that even their children were grabbed by Hajjaj ibn Yusuf. who became the man in power later on after the tragedy of Karbala. And you found they would take anybody who was related to Ali ibn Abi Talib والسلام, anybody who had relation to Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib والسلام, they would take them from the family and they would bury them alive. They would be building mausoleums, they would pour stone, they'd put the humans alive in there, young boys, and they would bury them alive. Today what we're seeing in Bahrain, same thing, the dhulm that's taking place, all because of this jealousy against Ahlul Bayt. So I say, Ahlul Bayt are so chosen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they did not have an easy life. It wasn't easy. The Messenger of Allah did not have a single day of ease. 40 years of silence, constantly preparing for the day when he's going to announce his prophethood. When he announces his prophethood, 23 years, constant badgering, constant beating, constant nagging, constant name calling. His life was constantly on the line, constant. Imam Ali alayhi salam, the day he's born to the day he dies in sujood, when he struck his first around the Kaaba. Not a day in 63 years I can remember where Imam Ali alayhi salam had a moment of peace where shaitan was not after him. Honestly, his dhikr, his tragedy on this earth, brothers and sisters, these are role models that Allah gave us. We are unique in Islam. You know, among the Muslims, there's about 1.8 billion Muslims. The lovers of Ahlul Bayt, roughly let's say 300-400 million of us. We are so blessed that nobody in the group of Islam is blessed like us. I always say, people ask me, how do you know your religion is right? How do you know your madhab is right? I said categorically, from the top to the bottom, if I was looking for a religion, my religion only runs on two premises: rationality and good role modeling. Rationally, we're set. No religion in the world has role models like the way we have. When we look at prophets and imams, purified, infallible, pristine, top-notch, even enemies can't say bad things about them. Role modeling. The lovers of Ahlul Bayt have the best role models in the world. So categorically, somebody was to ask you, how do you know your religion is right? Say, bring me your role models, I'll bring you mine. Put them on the table. Let's see who's right. You'll see your role models killed, lied, cheated, worshipped idols, did wrong things, but you say, radiallahu anhu to them. You say, may God protect them, may God forgive them, may God be pleased with them. We don't have to say radiallahu anhu. I dare a person, if a person says to me, why do we say radiallahu anhu? Oh, because they made mistakes. So we ask Allah to forgive them. So I say then, if Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam made a single mistake, why do you say sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, or sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? Those who don't say wa alihi wa sallam, why don't you say radiallahu anhu about him? How come no Muslim says radiallahu anhu about the Prophet? If he made mistakes, we have to say radiallahu anhu. We don't, because we know he didn't make mistakes. Ahlul Bayt, the same way. We say sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, alayhi salam. We don't say may God be pleased with them because we know Allah chose them. There's no need to say may God be pleased with them because we know our role models are superb. And we are so blessed, logically, rationally, that Allah has given us 14 ma'sumin, besides all the prophets. And if you take their birth dates and their death dates and you compound them over the span of a year, Allah keeps us busy remembering them in happiness and in sadness, because to survive this difficult trial, we need good role models. Hence the shahada and the walada. Nobody in the world is blessed like we are. Some people will go for salah, they won't even read dua, they'll leave. But we have dua. We have dua Kumail, we have dua Joshin Kabir, we have dua Muhammad Thamali. We have so many duas, Ishtashid, you name it, we have duas. Our imams have given us an abundance of duas. Once I was at the Kaaba, I was next to Hajar al-Aswad, and I was reciting Joshin Kabir in Umrah. And I'm sitting maybe 20, 30 feet away from Hajar al-Aswad, and I'm reciting Joshin Kabir with a small group of brothers and sisters. And an old man, a local man from Mecca, hears me reciting. He takes his musalla, comes and sits behind me, and he's following me. He's looking at my dua book, and he's following me, and he's crying, and he's crying. When he says, Subhanaka ya la ilaha illa anta al-ghawth, al-ghawth, halisna min an-nar. He started to cry, this old man. When I was finished, he said, where did you get this dua? All my life, I've never heard of a dua like this. I looked at the Kaaba and I said, oh Allah, you have given this to the Prophet through Jibreel. But because they missed their role models, they even were denied this dua. This old man is saying, where did you get this dua from? Because dua is the key to this spiritual side that takes us closer to Allah. And they've been denied that. We have it. Our Imams preserved it. Imams al-Abidin, the whole Sahih al-Sajjadiyah, filled with dua. You have a problem with your money? Here's a dua. You have a problem with your health? Here's a dua. You have a problem with your children? Here's a dua. You have a problem with your father? Here's a dua. A problem with your parents? Here's a dua. Tell me what dua do you want? We give it to you. Who has this? Trust me, in the world, meet Christians, meet Jews, meet atheists, nobody's got this. Even among Christians, as much as they love God, they don't have a prescription for prayer. Ask a Christian, you pray, how do you pray? He says, well, I pray. How? What do you do? Give me the rules. No rules. Eradicate it. If you want to be Catholic, you'll say, okay, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Okay, you recite that. How do you pray? The most a Christian will do, with due respect to them, even the Pope, will put his knees on the ground. With due respect to them, I said, Isa, when he prayed, he wept and he put his face on the ground. Why don't you do that? Nobody does that. If I was somebody came from a different planet, I'm searching religion, I'd be wondering what happened here. Your very role model is not being followed. When he prayed, he put his face on the ground. Why aren't you putting your face on the ground? We evolved. Evolution. Sallallahu alaihi Muhammad. We have the best system, brothers. I say it with my heart. I have spent time with all religions around the world. And every time I see what they're doing, I say, SubhanAllah, how you have guided it. Alhamdulillah, alladhi hadana li hada. This is upon us. I see this also with my heart. Let's not be proud and saying, yes, we are the best. And let's now all go and sleep and inshallah Jannah is opening up as we are getting closer on the grave. No. We're going to be punished. If we don't raise the banner of Islam the way it should be, and we don't articulate deen with practice, with wisdom and open-mindedness, Allah will punish us. So I want to touch a few very critical points and then I will conclude. Sallallahu Muhammad wa Muhammad. Allah in Surah Al-Imran says, زُيِّنَ لِلنَّاسِ حُبُّ الشَّهْوَاتِ مِنَ النِّسَاءِ وَالْبَنِينَ وَالْقَنَاطِيرِ المقنطرة من الذهب والفضة والخيل المسومة والأنعام والحرث ذلك متاع الحياة الدنيا والله عنده حسن المآب. Translation: the love of desires, women, sons, hoarded treasures of gold and silver, and well-bred horses and cattle and tilth is made to seem fair to mankind. This is the provision of this world. And to Allah is the best of goals. The next verse, I'll just read the translation. Allah says, Qul. Allah is saying, say, shall I tell you what is better than these? These are good. Well, these are bad. But what is better? You know, Allah says, قل متاع الدنيا قليل وللآخرة خير وأبقى. متاع الدنيا قليل. The pleasure of this world is little. What is better? وللآخرة خير لمن اتقى. And it is أبقى. It is better for those who are God conscious. What does it mean, God conscious? Very quickly, especially for my young brothers and sisters, because at the end of the day, this conversation may strike the heart, but we still need to understand, what do I need to do? When Allah says to me, Baqiyatus Salihat, what is left are my good deeds, how do I grasp this good deed so that I save myself? I want to touch on this very briefly without taking too much time, in a nutshell, because I know some of you are thinking, look, I got this desire, I got music in my background, I really need to listen to that, I've got my friends, I've got my lifestyle. Yes, I know God is calling me here, and I know that this is good, Islam is the best thing in the world, of course I know that, but I am just lost. I'm not so certain about how good this religion is. I'm not so sure. Give me something, one little light at the end of this dark tunnel, so that I can grasp onto, which will save me from my losses on this earth. Hopefully I will share that. But you have to bear with it and understand that the gravity of this life is a trial. How do I say it very clearly? Go to the graveyards and go to the families that are very wealthy and poor, and you will see when death takes place, everything changes. You and I can have plans of all our vacations and cruises. If somebody gets sick and death is about to take place, or somebody dies, you change your plans. It's done. Allah says, you plan, I plan. I'm the best of planners. And I'll come right between you and stop you. So every human being has to understand that. I gave the example yesterday. This young boy came and asked me for prayers. He was having a good time. Suddenly his best friend died. He woke up. Allah says, that is a lesson for those who think. If you don't think this way, go ahead, enjoy your life. You'll enjoy it for a short time. Before you know it, you'll be old, no one will talk to you, and you'll be thrown on the streets. If you give up your moral principles, morality, good morals. So let me explain very briefly why we have this lack of understanding. First and foremost, because there's a lot of confusion in religion. People make stories that are not true within religion. And we have absorbed them with confusion. And we see people of all kinds, even people who don't believe in Allah, having a good time. We get confused. Confusion is part of this world. Even Imam Ali says, he says, the loss of humanity came when haqq and batil got mixed. It became very gray. That gray is what we're all living in. Believe me, each and every one of us in this room, every one of us has a moment of doubt and questioning about why we're here, what are we here for? And that's normal. Doubts are natural. When you go through problems, you will wake up and you will realize that if you struggle to eradicate the doubt, you will see that it will start to clarify very simply. So my first example I'll give us all is please know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As a person sitting, say, why do I need to believe in God? Where is God? Who is He? Why do I need Him? Why do I need religion? What for? And why is God giving me laws? Do I need His laws? And then prophets. Why do I need prophets? Why should I follow prophets? What's the purpose again? Each one of these is a discussion. Brief introduction. Without Allah, none of us can exist. I mentioned that yesterday. It's impossible. Even those who don't believe in Allah, believe in some kind of supernatural force that put them here. It's human nature. It's in our fitrah. We can't escape it. And the worst part is when we die. I have an atheist friend who said to me, he says, you know, I'm an atheist, my wife is a Catholic. And I'm a staunch atheist. He's Jewish, but atheist. His wife is Catholic. He says, as much as I don't believe in God, I have to admit, this is an atheist talking to me heart to heart now. He says, we were once on a boat, my wife and I, we were rowing, and the storm started. And our boat started to rock, and we didn't have life vests. And I became petrified. I became terrified. He's honest to me, he's telling me. I became petrified. But my wife was calm. She said, it's okay, God is with us. And I kept saying, no, there's no God. But I'm terrified. He says, I have to admit, whatever that religion it is, it gives you tranquility. Now look, Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam answered the same question. Sallallahu Muhammad wa Muhammad. A man comes to Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam and he says, I don't believe in Allah. He says, what do you do? He says, I'm a sailor. He says, has your ship ever wrecked? He said, yes, it has wrecked. He says, when it wrecked, did you try to hold on to something? He said, yes. He said, you want to sink? He said, that long, did you hold on? He said, yes. The Imam said, did you have hope to live? He said, yes. He says, that is Allah. For if there was no God, why do you have hope? You hope for what? And the man looked at the Imam, he says, you're right. He said, that hope to want for that moment to live is so powerful. That answers the question of why we exist in this world. There is this natural preparation that when you see people dying, you start to question, what for? Why? Why did this happen? If an atheist will ask, why, if there's a God, why did He take this child? Why did this person die? Why did this tsunami kill so many people? He said, there's a reason behind it. Study the reason, Allah will show you that what is left are your deeds. That if a person dies at any stage, as long as they're good and they keep away from wrong deeds, you will find that they're happy. You know, Imam Ali says, if you ever want to conquer death, okay? If you ever want to conquer life, conquer death. If you want to grasp life, you want to understand it, study death. When he was struck with Abdurrahman ibn Muljam, and as he's waiting to leave this world, he's giving nasiha. He's giving advice to his children. He's giving advice to humanity. Look how concerned he is, because he is the best role model. He's teaching us that while I leave, and he used to say, Saluni, Saluni, qabla an tafqiluni. Ask me before you lose me. Why was he so concerned? Because this is al-baqiyatu salihat, khayrun inda rabbika thawaban. What is left are your deeds. So the Imam is saying, giving nasiha, he says, all my sermons will not be equal to when you see me, my body without its soul. That's a profound statement of Imam Ali. It strikes my spine, it strikes my heart. When Imam says, without my soul, when you see my body lying there, all my sermons will not compete with that vision. This is why Maut is such an awakening. Such an awakening. So please, brothers, let us know Allah, let us know the purpose. If we lose the purpose, people who cheat, people who lie, people who kill, people who are jealous, people who backbite, most people, any person who does anything wrong, for that moment of wrong, understand they lost sight of Allah. They lost sight of the purpose of life. That's why Allah says, if you want to keep yourself in check, keep thinking of me and keep knowing why I need you. Now, you could have an empire in your hands, you will count it. You'll say, no, I have this. What am I going to do with it? How much can I use this? Plan it. I'm going to die soon. I have to distribute this. This palace I just built, I can only stay in it for a short while. Somebody else has to stay in it. Now you won't cheat. You won't lie. You won't backbite. Notice the best system possible is the deen of Allah. And when we think of Allah and the purpose, we're in the right motion. Let me add two other very important points. Our youth today are having problems trying to gauge, while being good Muslims, with regards to the instruments, for example, of music. Music, for example, is a debated issue. Is it halal? Is it haram? Most of our youth today, they listen to music. What is it about music? Let me describe it very briefly, and you will understand my point. Same, in the pathway of Allah, salihat, good deeds. Salihat here, music, for example, you have to know its powers and its strength. Anytime something is haram, study it. Don't just say, why is Allah making it haram? Study it. I studied it as a teenager. I had an affinity to music, strong affinity to music. I studied it carefully. I dissected it like a scientist. I looked at its parameters and I studied its movements. And I said, wow, what a powerful instrument it is. Music is a very powerful instrument to alter your state of mind. Movies today, high production movies, have their own, what we call, music designed for the movie. Every scene is choreographed properly to affect the emotions in that scene. Because music has a very powerful connotation to put you in the scene. It's like a three-dimensional power. It pulls you. Music also is one of the best tools to fantasize. If we want to fantasize, music is the best instrument to fantasize. You'll notice that when you're listening to a song and you're looking at people, they look different. When you shut it off, take your earphones off, people look different. The same person. The impact is different. You will see people differently. This is where the danger lies. In Islam, Allah warns us. Okay, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَشْتَرِي لَهْوَ الْحَدِيثِ لِيُضِلَّ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ بِغَيْرِ عِلْمٍ وَيَتَّخِذَهَا هُزُوًا. Among mankind, they create frivolous talk. The power of music is at this level. Is it totally haram, any sound? No. None of our maraja in principle say that. What they say is what is prevalent out there is dangerous. Be careful, it's a tool. Many of us fall, especially today with rap music. You listen to some of the vulgarities in rap. Now rap has evolved because of the people who are singing it are oppressed. People who are very oppressed are the ones who are experts in rap, because that's their way of screaming rhythmically. And rap is very powerful. Some of the wordings in them, if you listen, I don't listen to rap, but I've listened to some of them when somebody has shown me, they're very powerful political messages, very powerful for example, oppression messages, very powerful. But watch out, the presentation is so vulgar. There are so many sexual intonations. There are so many foul words in between, because that's how they express. Now you might think, but it's okay. It's fighting against oppressors. But if the means is dirty, then you have become polluted. You will find that the foul language, using those bad words, becomes common in our lingo. So I see many of our young brothers and sisters listening to this, then their lingo is filthy. Their tongues are filthy. They talk filthy. Now if I meet somebody for the first time, and I'm spending time with them, and the next thing you know, they're cursing, using bad words, I won't respect that person anymore. Look, even me as a person coming in public and speaking, if you hear me use one foul language, you may lose my respect. You may say, listen, this guy talks okay, but I don't like his tongue. One mistake. Imagine how we see each other. Now we wonder why sometimes society don't respect us. If we don't respect ourselves, why should the world respect us? Imam Ali says, if you don't respect yourself, you don't love yourselves, and you don't do what you're supposed to do for your own good, why should the world respect you? You and I should love ourselves first. We should respect ourselves first. Clean the tongue. Let's not backbite either. Surah Hujurat, brothers and sisters, Surah Hujurat. Please take some time and read it, 49. Surah Hujurat talks about our social ills, but Allah establishes a standard. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, la tuqaddimu bayna yaday Allahi wa rasuli, wattaqullah. Inna Allaha alimun khabir. All you who believe, don't go ahead of Allah and His Messenger. Why? Allah says, if you follow Allah and His Messenger, your tongue will be clean. You will be happy. Your purpose in life will be stabilized. Your family will be happy. Your wives will be good for you. Your sons and daughters will be good for you. Things will stabilize. But you start living in the world of fantasy, and these guys who are manufacturing all this music, who are looking to make money, they have no morals. They drink alcohol like crazy. Okay? I was watching the life of Tupac Shakur, for example. You know, he's a rapper who got killed, right? Okay. Did you see him? How many of you watched that? There's a documentary on Tupac Shakur. This boy, as a young boy, brilliant. If you listen to him talking, smart. He understands the political dynamics. He understands oppression. The guy was brilliant. His mother was a brilliant woman. They destroyed them both. The mother became a drug addict, she died. And Tupac Shakur got killed. But if you watch, when he got into the limelight, and he became very powerful, you know, unfortunately he got trapped in gang works. What happens? You watch the documentary, he's got hundreds of women. They're constantly drinking liquor. You got alcohol everywhere. Everything is the F word in between. Everything's curse, curse, curse. You say, look at this guy. Genius, smart, artistic like anything. That overnight he comes up with a song that everybody loves. Look at how much blessing he has. Look how destroyed he is morally. Done. This is how Shaitan gets us. So let's not be proud of artists and think, wow, everybody's thinking this is so cool and so hot. This is the thing to have. Be careful. This person, if they don't have morals, they'll drag you down with them. As much as you and I will be proud to have all those things in our iPods and iPads, it will destroy us. Allah says, وَالْبَاقِيَاتُ الصَّالِحَاتُ خَيْرٌ عِنْدَ رَبِّكَ ثَوَابًا وَخَيْرٌ أَمَلًا. Surah Hujurat, brothers and sisters, backbiting, jealousy, suspicion, each one is a discussion. In our communities here yesterday, a young brother was coming talking to me. He says, brother, I really want to do good things for Allah. But within my brothers, there's so much backbiting. I make one mistake, they all laugh at me. They make fun of me. They talk behind me. Allah says, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لَا يَسْخَرْ قَوْمٌ مِّنْ قَوْمٍ عَسَىٰ أَن يَكُونُوا خَيْرًا مِّنْهُمْ. Oh, you believe? Don't laugh. One group should not laugh at another group because you're better. وَلَا نِسَاءٌ مِّن نِسَاءٍ عَسَىٰ أَن يَكُونَ خَيْرًا مِّنْهُنَّ وَلَا تَلْمِزُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ وَلَا تَنَابَزُوا بِالْأَلْقَابِ بِئْسَ الْإِسْمُ الْفُسُوقُ بَعْدَ الْإِيمَانِ وَمَنْ لَمْ يَتُبْ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الظَّالِمُونَ. Look at the verse, Surah Hujurat. Don't laugh at each other. Women, don't laugh at each other. Don't make fun of each other. Don't find fault. وَلَا تَلْمِزُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. Don't find faults in each other. Fault finding is a disease in our ummah. My God, we are a minority, lovers of Ahlul Bayt, the most oppressed people on earth. We should have no time for this nonsense. We have work to do. Lives are being taken. Our youths are being lost. Drugs and alcohol are becoming prevalent in the followers of Ahlul Bayt. We have the best religion in the world. No scholar, no philosopher can challenge us. And our children are getting lost. We have no time for this nonsense. We have to worry and prepare ourselves for the return of Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's an obligation. I'm saying it with my heart. I look at each one of you. You're handsome, you're beautiful. Our sisters, you are a blessing. Please get out of this childishness. And I'm not pointing fingers to anybody. I point to myself first. But if we know the value of this life, and it is so short, believe me, even if we're 70, 80, 90 years of age, we have lived a very short time. There is no time for this nonsense. Allah says, don't laugh at each other. Honor each other. Don't give each other bad names. Don't be suspicious. لا يغتب بعضكم بعضا أيحب أحدكم أن يأكل لحم أخيه ميتا فكرهتموه. Don't backbite. You like to eat the flesh of your dead brother? It's disgusting. Allah says in the Quran. This is the beauty of Quran. This is what Allah says, Baqiyat al-Salihat. Stop this. Unite. Look at the world through the eyes of Allah and say, wow, Allah, you created everybody so beautiful. Look in the mirror and say, oh Allah, fatakbarakallah, ahsan al-khaliqeen. You have chosen me. You have honored me. You have honored this world. I don't care if there's an atheist across the aisle. What an honor you made that person. What a gift. Each one of us is a gift. Please, brothers and sisters, I say it with my sincerity. We are too blessed. This conversation can go on to eternity about the ni'mah and the rahmah of Allah. I want to strike the heart in my young brothers and sisters especially. Please, quit. If you're into music, work against it. No one said all music is haram. Be selective. Most of it is haram. Watch out. When we get into it, salah becomes difficult. The fantasy level takes us in the wrong direction. The dating game, constant chatting online with even the cell phones. I've got this little adventures we take. We think it's fun. We're living in Canada, land of freedom. I can go to any woman I want. I can take any man I want. Yes, that's why it's so difficult. It's a difficult trial. Back off. Allah says, "La taqrabu zina." Don't approach zina. It's deadly. It will destroy you. It will bring your families down. It will bring your resources down. It will bring your dignity down. Watch out and plan out. Let me end. Beautiful hadith. And then I end. I hope really by Allah. I say this sincerely to my community. You. Tomorrow I won't be here. Many of us who are older, even young, we won't be here. We will be replaced. And it is something we must concern ourselves for our own good. We will go. We will go alone in the graves. No one will talk about us. I always say, even my great-grandchildren, they won't even know my first name. I can be the biggest public speaker in the world. My great-great-grandchildren won't even know my name. Even if they knew my name, they won't know me. Maybe they'll listen to some of my lectures. But Allah says, you're coming back to me. The world can talk all they want. They can even carve your face on the mountain. It will crumble. You are left with me. That's my concern. Otherwise, the rest of the world is just a tool for me. Social for you. Use it to get closer to Allah. Give the charity. Be gentle and kind. Keep away from haram. Look what a person comes to Imam Ali alayhi salam, and then I end. A man goes to Imam Ali alayhi salam and says, I have 4 questions. Please answer them. First question, what is wajib, obligatory, and what is awjab, which is most obligatory? What is qareeb, near, and what is aqrab, nearest? What is ajib, strange, and what is ajab, meaning strangest? What is difficult, and what is asab, most difficult? Think about it, it's not easy to answer them. 4 questions. The hikmah of Ahlul Bayt, guidance, wisdom. We all love Ahlul Bayt. They should be in our top of the list of role models. We should live with them. All other people, secondary. They can be with us today, they'll dump us tomorrow. Honestly, my enemy today will be my friend tomorrow. But the prophets and Ahlul Bayt, never, never. They will always say, Ummati, Ummati, come. We love you. Imam replies, wajib is obedience to the laws of Allah. Most obligatory is to abandon sins. You notice, to do wajib is easy, but to abandon sins, very difficult. So Imam Ali says that the most obligatory is to focus on haram and stay away from it. Many times we pray and we do haram. Somebody today says, you know, you gotta please shaitan sometimes. You know, it's hard to be pure all the time. We say that all the time, right? Imam Ali says, stay away from sin. If you can keep away from haram, your life will be naturally good. Second, near, qareeb, is Yawm al-Qiyamah, Day of Judgment. Even nearer is death. SubhanAllah. Strange is this world. It's strange. It's a strange world. No matter how much you own it, you find you never get satisfied. It's strange. It's weird. Even when you're ready to have a good time, you're too old. Because by the time you saved up enough money, you get into a red Ferrari and you're 65 years of age, it just doesn't look right. It's a strange world. Honestly. And if you are 20 years old in a Ferrari, it's probably a drug dealer, and maybe inherited the money. Because there's no way you're going to have a Ferrari at that age. It just doesn't work. Strange world. Full of contradictions. Strange. When you're ready to settle down and have a good time, you've lost your looks. Right? Strange. Imam Ali says this world is strange. Even stranger is to fall in love with this world. Finally, he says, difficult is the grave. It's a difficult place. Qabr is a difficult place. Even more difficult is to go into the grave without preparation. Sallallahu Muhammad wa Muhammad. Brothers, may Allah give us the tawfiq to remember Ahlul Bayt, to remember Islam through them, role models. One of the key components here that I mentioned about Salihat is role modeling. My religion is the best because I have the best role models. And therefore, for me to be the best representative of my religion, I should be the best role model. Because people will learn my religion through my actions. You and I have to be the best role models. Our friends should be chosen carefully. If we have bad friends, change them. Otherwise, move away from them. Otherwise, they will drag you into the ditch with them. It's just the way the world works. Choose the friends carefully. We remember Fatima al-Zahra, salamullahi alayha, as our role model in her shahada of the third of Jamad al-Thani. And she was the best role model among women, that though she died at the age of 18, teenager, smiled when her father told her that you will be the first person to come to me after my death. She smiled. There was so much dhalam done on her that the Prophet gave her a gift, a big land called Fadak, in his lifetime, and they stole it from her after his death. They took it away. This is a sign of dhalam that was done on Ahlul Bayt. And we remember Fatima al-Zahra salamullahi alayha first and foremost in her modesty, in her chastity. Men and women, we must find our women, our wives, our sisters through Fatima al-Zahra, through Maryam, through Zainab alayhi salam. All of them, they should be our role models. Nobody else. None of these stars that come and show themselves indecently, they're not our role models. I see some of our sisters, even brothers, they look up to sisters who look like that. Don't fall for it. Role models are the ones Allah has chosen. Otherwise, we are shooting ourselves in our feet. Please, let's get away from this. And Fatima al-Zahra salamullahi alayha, I conclude in this presentation at Al-Huda Center that Fatima al-Zahra salamullahi alayha made a will to her husband, Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, that after they denied her her rights, her basic human rights, that she said, I want this to be forever in history. Let the world know that my death shall remain a secret, that no one will know where I am buried. Our imams knew where she was buried, but they did not reveal it. Clearly to prove the point that in Islam, nobody can lead if they're oppressors. And the one who is oppressed is the right one. Because Allah says in the Quran in Surah Al-Qasas, وَنُرِيدُ أَن نَمُنَّ عَلَى الَّذِينَ اسْتُضْعِفُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَنَجْعَلَهُمْ أَئِمَّةً وَنَجْعَلَهُمُ الْوَارِثِينَ. It is our desire to make you, O oppressed, the leaders, and you will inherit this world. Today we are living in a world where in North Africa, our Muslims are rising, finally taking the real democracy in their own hands, not the facade democracy. And the world is preparing, and the lovers of Ahlul Bayt are on the front lines. Trust me, they're coming. The flags are coming. They are being raised. For 14 centuries, these flags did not rise. It is rising. Something profound around the corner. We would be foolish in this most profound moment to deny ourselves the opportunity to be in that movement. May Allah give us the tawfiq to be part of that. I want to thank Brother Ayman and all the communities of Al-Huda to give us this opportunity in these nights to remember through the dhikr of the Quran, to the Messenger, and to Ahlul Bayt, to get closer to Allah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. ربنا اغفر لنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم. وآخر الدعوة أن الحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته.